It's a limited edition artist series Tim Commerford Ernie Ball MusicMan StingRay bass. So let's do a review. So far, it looks very good, right? You see, but there's an old Chinese proverb that says, looks aren't everything. If you're going to look under the hood. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I mean, figuratively speaking, because in reality, we're just going to look through the microscope, like we always do on this channel. And like we always do on this channel, we're going to do all the looking at the repair shop. But this time, we're going to do it differently. Because, you see, I already did all the looking at the repair shop. And I already posted this review on the other channel. Oh, excuse me. Guitar quackery. Oh, a viewer wants to know what other channel. Apparently, not everyone knows there's another channel. I'll explain. Okay, bye. Oh, make sure you subscribe. Thanks, bye. Guitar Quackery has another channel called Guitar Quackery Live, the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel, where my customers can watch me in real time as I work on their guitars. And you can watch me too, in real time. So if you subscribe to that channel and hit the bell icon, you will be notified when I'm streaming. Check it out. There's a link in the description. So like I said, this review is already posted on the other channel, but it's not going to be the same as the review you're about to see on this channel, because for this channel, I made an additional recording with my phone. And you see what time it is? And that's AM. So this additional recording is going to be included in this review, if that makes sense. I know, it's a lot to process. But here it is. Okay, this is it. This is the bass. Okay, so we have a nice bass. Why don't we start by saying that it's a limited edition? Okay, it's 7 of 50. Tim Commerford, signature model. Now, look at this beautiful neck. So, this is a very symmetrical wood grain. And this is the part that I need to record on the phone. So, bear with me. So here, if it wants to focus. Okay, once again, it's 7 of 50. And if we look at the wood grain, we can see that it's symmetrical on both sides. Okay, so this is a nice piece of wood that's flat sawn. Okay. Okay, it's a string through body. And let's flip it over. And let's have a look. It's got stainless steel frets, nicely polished. Okay. It's got a compensated nut. You can see this here. And, you know, it's got a headstock, obviously. We're going to remove this because I'll do a full service. We're going to remove this protective thing. And this is the bridge here. Okay, MusicMan. Okay. It's a beautiful instrument. I'm also going to show you a test that I like to do just to check if the neck is twisted. So let's have a look. what I do is I simply use a stirring stick, and I place it here, okay? And then I sight down the neck, but I will try to show you on camera. This is a bit tricky to do on camera, but I've done it before. And it worked in the past, so it should work now as well. It just takes me a few seconds to set it up. Okay, I think you can see the stirring stick right here, and you can see the body. And you can see that it's how it's aligning with the body. Okay. This is how you check if there might be a neck twist. Now let's have a look at the frets. We want to make sure that all the frets are even and leveled. So it is a MusicMan. It's not a Sterling by MusicMan, right? So it's the more expensive one. So I'm just going to go over all the frets with the fret rocker. So far, so good. I'm not finding any uneven frets. None so far. So all the way up the neck, all the frets are even. The fret rocker isn't rocking, right? Which means all the frets are even. Well, it's a little limited, so there could still be uneven frets in theory, but I don't think so. So now that we know that the frets are even, we can check the relief. Now, obviously, the relief is adjustable. There's the truss rod adjustment is here. This is a spoke wheel. But we want to check if it's a symmetrical relief or not. If it isn't, it's called a differential relief. And if we have that, preferably, we would want to have more relief on the bass side and less relief on the treble side. So if we have it the other way around, then it's not good. But if we have more relief on the bass side, then that's great. So we want to measure our relief on the bass side first. So let's just skip to this one. Okay, so that's 13 1/1000ths. And here 14 1/1000ths does not fit. So going back to this one, 13 1/1000ths fits. Okay, and now we move our straight edge to the other side, and we try the same one, and it doesn't fit. Okay, so it's a smaller relief here. 12 1/1000ths does not fit. 11 1/1000ths does not fit. 8 1/1000ths does. So we don't really know that it's 8 1/1000ths. It could be 9 or 10 as well. We just know that 11 doesn't fit, and we know that 8 does. So we do in fact have a differential relief with a little more relief on the bass side, and that's actually ideal. And that's because the bass string, the low string, vibrates more than the high string, obviously. it isn't perfect. We are going to have to do some light repair work. So obviously I already looked at it. And let me show you. So far, everything's good. And now let me show you some imperfections. Okay, so here we are going to measure the nut height. Once we know that that the frets are even here, we can use these two frets to measure the nut height. And what I like to measure is actually the nut relief, not the nut action. So the relief is the space that remains after I push the string against the second fret, the space that remains here or here, right? And I measure that with the dial indicator. This one is metric. One check mark is 1/100th of a millimeter. So the space that remains is called the relief, right here. So we do have a space on all the strings. It should be as low as possible, but not too low, right? If we look at this one, so again, I push the string against the second fret first, and now that's the space that remains, and this is way higher than it should be. This is not anywhere close to where it should be. This string, again, way higher than it should be. The D string is better, as you can see, and this one is also good, actually. So we are going to have to file these two string slots on the nut. It's a compensated nut. This means that so the compensation achieves better intonation. So when you do a compensation on the nut, it corrects some of the offset in pitch in first position. I'll show you the nut through the microscope, but first let's talk about the frets. So this is brand new, and it does have a roasted maple neck, but there's still some fret sprout, and we're going to have to fix that. So here, I'll show you through the microscope. We can see the fret ends. Let's focus on this one. Maybe zoom in a little bit. And if I take a feeler gauge like this, you can see that it gets stuck here. So this is protruding, and you can feel that when you play. This fret over here, I'm just going to show you a couple of frets. I think I can already see that it's a little higher than the fingerboard. So we're going to have to file this down, and I can feel the fret ends on both sides. So this is the first thing that I'll do. It is a fingerboard with stainless steel frets, so it takes a little more work maybe, but you know, it's all doable. And now I want to show you the nut. Let's use this microscope here. Because it's a compensated nut, it's perhaps a little more interesting to look at. Here, I'm going to focus first. And now, let's have a look. So we can see the compensation. Okay. This is the G string. So we're inspecting the string slot from all sides. We're inspecting the side of the nut. This is the D string. We want to see if it's nice and tight. It is. Go back to the G string. It's nice and tight, although I can see a little additional sideways break angle here. So this is, you know, I'm going to say this is a small imperfection, I guess. It would be better if it was like that. Okay, let's go over to the A string. Is it nice and tight? Yes. And then we have the low E. It's also nice and tight. Okay. Now, this is the side of the nut. You know, I'm going to say it's nicely made. Yeah, I don't have any major issues with the nut except that it's a little too high. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. So these are the tuning machines. Like that. Okay, and you can see it's a roasted maple neck. And I guess this is a different finish. I think there is a thin coat of finish here and a thicker coat here. I don't know, I have to look at the specs. It hasn't been played, to my knowledge. Yeah, perhaps we can look at at least one of the string slots at the bottom. So let me look at this one first. This is the low E. So if I unwind the string, we can look at the bottom of the string slot. So we are going to file it lower. We can see there's a witness point at the back and a smaller witness point at the front. Now this is pretty tight, so the string was not vibrating inside of the string slot, but it's not pitched correctly. So this should be filed lower than the front. Okay, so we are going to work on this, no problem. I'm just going to correct it. Might as well look at this one. I think this one's better because I can see a witness point here at the front and I don't see anything at the back. So it seems like this one is pitched properly. This is the D string. Might as well look at it. Oh, this is a little tight. So we're going to have to work on this. Why don't I show you this from the side? If I lift it, you see it's not coming out. It's stuck. Okay, that's the string tree, obviously. Let's remove this string as well. We have the same situation here. Okay, so this is a little bit disappointing, but you can see that it's stuck. Okay, that's not perfect, obviously. And now, why don't we have a look at the bottom? Well, I think I want to touch, well, I'm going to touch it up anyway because it's too tight at the top end, right? And it's just a little too high here, right? So I'm just going to touch it up. I'll be working on the nut anyway. I guess that's about it, unless we want to look at the electronics. Maybe. Let's see how tight the screws are. So it's got quite a few screws. I like to use a hand-driven screwdriver, at least to start. I haven't looked inside yet myself. That's the first time I'm gonna look, I think. So this is a switch, and this is a volume and tone, I believe, right? So now that I've loosened the screws, I can use my power tool to finish. Always use the right tip. You can see from here. Focus, focus. All right. Here it is. Okay, 2 more screws. Maybe I should have prepared this. But here it is. Ta-da. Okay. Yeah, very clean wiring. Yeah. So this looks like a... It's also a switch, I guess. Not really. Yeah, it's like a stereo jack. I don't know why. And these two are connected together. This is not my favorite jack for guitars. You know, this plastic. Oh, there's a push-pull. Is that a push-pull? Yeah. Push, push. Okay. All right. So this concludes the review. And I will be doing a full service on it. So first thing I'll do is file the fret ends. And then I'll work on the nut. And then do a full setup. I got more to show you, so don't go anywhere. You see, because I forgot to show you something. Well, I didn't really forget. I was just kind of clueless, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I mean, what do you think? Just because I have a YouTube channel, I know everything? So if you watch the archived live stream of this bass on the other channel, you will see that, you know, I was just trying to figure out how to set up the mutes on the bridge of the bass. And I did figure it out, but you can see that I was clueless. And one of the viewers, his screen name is YT Party Tonight, posted this in the chat. The bridge and mute assembly is classic/standard design for StingRay since the late 1970s. And I had no clue, right? The mutes are somewhat like Rick, meaning Rickenbacker, or Fender Jazz Bass, 1960 to 63-ish. All right, so I learned something new myself. Yeah, I'm going to show you this. Before I do, if you want to buy me a coffee, you can click the link below that says buy me a coffee. Thank you. And that's it. So why don't we look at this thing? It has adjustable mutes, and we can see them here. Those are the mutes. And the way you adjust them is by turning these. So they're spring-loaded. And now the string is muted. You need to adjust each one separately. So perhaps not the most practical design. It reminds me of a Rickenbacker. And now we've come to the end, almost. Just a formality. If you like this channel and you like to see it grow, if you think it benefits you and the community, just go on some guitar forums and tell everyone. Thank you very much. That's it. Click, click, click. Check out the other channel. And my friends, I'll see you soon.